Today, we are going to be rearranging some equations. And by the end of this video, you will be able to understand and approach any question on them. I'm Josh from Strong Students, where we help ambitious GCSE students master English and maths. Okay, put your hands up if you are ready to rearrange some equations. Put it up. Put them up. I can't see you with your hands up. Put them up. I'm looking at you. Put your hands up. Good. Okay, let's rearrange some equations. So, if you haven't seen my previous video on solving equations, then I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say goodbye to you. Please go and watch that video on solving equations, because if you can't solve equations, it will be very difficult to rearrange equations. So I will link that maybe there or somewhere over there. Go and have a look at my video on how to solve equations and then come back. Okay, so I'm going to say goodbye and I'm going to welcome you back. Welcome back. You've seen the video. Now you're back to rearrange some equations. So let's actually rearrange some. So make C the subject of the formula. What that means to make something the subject of the formula, that means make it C equals. The goal is C equals, okay? So we need to first think, what is the problem? What's the first thing we can get rid of to get it in a position where we can get closer to being towards C equals? Well, the first thing we can get rid of is the -8. So we can do F equals 5C. And remember from solving equations, to get rid of a -8, we add 8 to both sides of the equation. So in this case, well, -8 plus 8 cancels, and now we're left with 5C equals F plus 8. Okay? Well, we now have 5 lots of C. We're very close to having C by itself. So how do we get C by itself? Fantastic. We divide both sides by 5. So we're left with C equals F plus 8. And I know you're asking, how do I show that, Josh? Do I write it like F plus 8 divided by 5, just like that? Or do I put it like that? And I would absolutely put it like that, because we all know what a fraction means. The fraction means divide. So you might as well write it as if it's just all over 5. That's our first rearranging the equation done. Okay, let's make T the subject of the formula. So T equals is the goal. Hopefully you spotted, we need to get rid of that -21. We get rid of that -21 by adding 21 to both sides. We have 4 lots of T, we want 1 lot of T. So what do we divide both sides of the equation by? 4. Excellent. So your answer is U plus 21 divided by 4. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, much the same thing. We need to make Y the subject of the formula. How do we do that? Well, the first problem is the -2. So what do we add to both sides of the equation? Yes, we add 2. X plus 2 equals 3y, because we've added 2 to both sides of the equation. We've got 3 lots of y, remember. This is 3 times y. We're doing opposites from solving equations, remember them rules. The opposites of timesing by 3 is dividing by 3. So we divide both sides of the equation by 3, and we're left with x plus 2 divided by 3. Okay, this one a little bit more tricky, but not really. It's the same thing. We've just got 3 different letters here. If we want to make A the subject of the formula, first thing we can do is move this 3b. So how do we get 3b to the other side of the equation? We subtract 3b from both sides. So -3b minus 3b. So we've got P minus 3b equals 3a. Well, we have 3 lots of A. We just want 1 lot of A. So what do we do to both sides of the equation? What do we divide it by? 3. Incredible. So our answer is A equals 3a. A equals P minus 3b divided by 3. Wonderful. Right. Getting a little bit more tricky now. This is probably grade 5 standard. There are 2 sections of this video. There is going to be a higher section as well, but I'm going to talk about that in a minute. If you are foundation, still stay here. You need to know this. We need to make A the subject. Well, it gets a bit scary now, because you've got some squareds in there. Well, still the same thing. U squared is just a term, so we're going to subtract u squared from both sides of the equation. So v squared minus u squared equals 2as. Well, how do we make it a equals now? Well, remember, 2as is 2 times a times s. And how would you get rid of multiplying by 2? And multiplying by s, you would divide by them. So we're going to divide both sides by 2s, and that will leave us with a. So our answer is just v squared minus u squared divided by 2s. Okay, and that is your answer. Right, this is still foundation, on the brink of higher, but you actually could get this in a foundation exam. So stay here with me if you're foundation. Once again, opposites. First problem here is this square root. We need to get rid of this square root. What is the opposite of square rooting? Wow, oh my god, that is incredible. Yes, it's squaring. So we square both sides. A squared equals b plus 2 divided by 5. Squared both sides to get rid of the square root. Now we think, right, how can we get closer to getting towards b equals? Well, we have this fraction on the bottom here, dividing by 5. How do we get rid of dividing by 5? Brilliant. Times by 5. Times both sides by 5. What is 5 times a squared? 5a squared. And that equals b plus 2. How do we get b by itself now? Well, it's quite nice now. We've got a plus 2. How do we get rid of a plus 2? We subtract 2 from both sides. So our answer is 5a squared minus 2 is b. Final question for both foundation and higher. Make a the subject. Well, x equals, I will make a video on this, expanding brackets, but to expand the brackets we do 3 times by a, which is 3a, and we do 3 times by 9, which is 27. That's them brackets expanded now. Well, we want to get closer to getting towards a equals, so we move this 27 over to the left hand side. Opposite of adding 27 is subtracting 27. So we now have x minus 27 equals 3a. How do we get a by itself? We divide by 3, because we're currently timesing by 3, so we divide by 3 to get a alone. So divide both sides by 3, and we're left with x minus 27 divided by 3. Okay? This question marks the end of the foundation section of this video, so please head over to the timestamp that I've left on the screen if you are a foundation student. However, if you are higher, we've still got more equations to rearrange. So stay with me. This is for your benefit. There are some hard equations we've got to do now to rearrange where you have multiple of the same letter that we need to find the subject of. So stay with me. But foundation students, head over to the timestamp that's on the screen wherever I've put it. Okay, now that all them annoying foundation students have gone, you higher guys have some fun maths to do with me. So making v the subject of the formula, to be fair, this could have actually been a foundation question, so uh-oh. Well, the first thing we do is we've got half of mv squared. So how do we get rid of that? Dividing by 2 times both sides by 2. Good. So we're left with 2t equals mv squared. Right. Well, this is m times by v squared. So to get closer towards v equals, we divide both sides by m. So we're now left with 2t divided by m equals v squared. And then we're so close now to getting what v is. What's the opposite of squaring? Square rooting. So our final answer, if we square root both sides, is 2t divided by m, all square rooted. Okay, that's very difficult. It probably be unlikely found on a foundation paper. However, these kind of rearranging equations will definitely appear on your higher paper and not on the foundation paper. So it's important that you pay attention now. There's a little additional step that I haven't really shown you that you need to be aware of to rearrange these kind of questions. So the goal is x equals. The thing that is difficult here is that there is an x on both sides of the equation. So the first thing we're going to do here is expand both brackets. If you expand both these brackets, you get 2x plus xa equals bx plus 3b. Okay. The next thing we need to do is get all of the x's over to the same side of the equation. So if we move this bx to the left side of the equation, then we have all the x's together. Move everything else that doesn't have an x onto the other side of the equation. So we're going to minus bx from both sides. So we now have 2x plus xa minus bx equals 3b. Okay? So now you're looking at this thinking, what on earth is going on? How do we get x by itself? There's a little trick that we need to do here. And as you're a higher student, hopefully you understand what's going on. We can factorize out the x. I will make a separate video on factorizing as well. Don't worry if you don't quite understand this. So you're thinking, well, all of these terms have an x. What do I multiply x by to get back to each of these terms? Well, x times 2 is 2x. X times a is xa, and x times minus b is minus bx, and this equals 3b. So we're nearly there now. We've just got that x on the outside. This is x multiplied by all of these terms, so we can divide both sides by 2 plus a minus b, and that will give us our answer. A minus b divided by 2 plus a minus b, that equals 3b divided by 2 plus a minus b. Okay, right, let's have a look at another one where we've got multiple of the subject going on in the question. So we need to make x the subject of the formula. This one looks horrific. The first thing to do here is to multiply both sides by x plus 2. Get rid of that fraction. Always get rid of fractions first. Get rid of them, we don't want fractions. So we now have ax plus 2 equals x plus 4. Now we expand the brackets, so it becomes ax plus 2a equals x plus 4. At this stage, move all of the things that don't have an x to the same side, and move all of the things that do have an x to the same side. So we minus x from both sides, minus 2a from both sides. So we have ax minus x equals 4 minus 2a. Now what do we do to get just one x? We factorize the x out of both terms. Xa minus 1 equals 4 minus 2a. And what's our final step? Brilliant. We divide both sides by a minus 1 to get x by itself. So dividing by a minus 1, dividing by a minus 1, we're just left with x equals 4 minus 2a divided by a minus 1. Okay, the final one that I want to have a look at is this one. And it looks a little bit nasty. We need to get b as the subject of the formula, but it's actually not that bad at all, because all we need to do first, well, we've got plus 1 over c. So how do we get rid of plus 1 over c? We take away 1 over c from both sides of the equation. So we have now 1 over a minus 1 over c equals 1 over b. And this is something that I haven't shown you yet, and you probably haven't seen. To get b by itself, we can now take the reciprocal of both sides. And what the reciprocal means is we flip everything over. So what I mean by that is that it now becomes a over 1 minus c over 1 equals b over 1. And anything divided by 1 is itself, so we now have a minus c equals b. But I imagine this is the point of the video where you've rearranged so many equations that you're kind of thinking, what on earth is going on? I just want to get to the end of the video, or I just want to have my Dominoes, I just want to have my sandwich, I just want to go to sleep, I just want to cry, whatever you want to do, okay? But you've done it now, so you've rearranged equations, well done. Now that you can rearrange equations amazingly, please feel free to check out some of our previous videos to keep on improving your GCSE maths skills. If you enjoyed this video or found this video useful, please feel free to share it, to like it, and to subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, let me know what you want to see. What topics do you want me to go through next? Give me some feedback in the comments. Let me know how this video was for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.